Hi guys, so in this video we're going to have a look at the new front end, the LP front end from Schumacher that me, Aidan, Ian, all the guys at Morecambe are using. It's slightly different to the old front end, but the stuff we're going to do with the springs and the kingpins and the damper oil is the same for your old front end. If you want us to do a separate video for that, then I'm happy to do it. Just sort of leave a comment, let me know if that's what you want. So this front end hasn't been touched since I built it, so it's quite overdue, just a rebuild and a clean. So I'm just going to go through that now. So the first step is just to take the top beam off. Generally, unless you're doing something to do with the shims, you don't need to take apart the bottom of the car. Mine's built as per kit for caster settings. So I think it's something like a 0.5 mm washer at the front and a 1 mm washer at the rear, but don't quote me on that. The manual that comes with the new front end tells you exactly what to do. So one thing to be careful of is when you take these two screws out here, is that obviously you have a 1 mm washer under there and it's black and easy to lose against the carbon, so just be careful when you're doing that. It's quite hard to keep the car still and do this at the same time, so sorry if it's moving around a little bit. So when all 4 screws are out like that and you drop them onto the floor like I do, a bit of a nightmare. So there's your beam, and there's 2 1 mm washers on top of each post, which are here. I know the old style low profile front end without the fully covering beam was, I believe, 2.5 mm. So if you're using the old front end, again, just follow what the kit says. Just find that screw that dropped. So now you're down to the hubs, springs and kingpins. So the first step really is just to take it apart and give it a quick clean. For Morecambe and most tracks, I'm using a silver front spring, but we'll cover the differences when we do the setup video. So yeah, and then just pull your hubs off. You'll find with the damper oil, they pick up quite a lot of dust and crap off the carpet. So you just want to clean that up. Again, just like we did with the old damper tubes, take a piece of kitchen roll and just wipe off the kingpins just so they're nice and clean. Try and get as much dirt as you can off the shims at the bottom as well for setting your droop and your ride height. Again, with them shims, mine's just built as per kit. Nothing special there really at all. It's more just for tuning your droop and ride height more than anything. So again, give the hubs a quick clean. It's a good idea as well, I'll do in a second, just to roll up like almost a tube. Oh, dropped the shim. Yeah, just to roll up a tube of tissue and just run it through the hub just to clean out any dirt that might have gotten inside of there. You just want to keep your kingpins as free as possible. We are using the polished kingpins from Schumacher. It just makes the front end a little bit more free, more consistent when you're driving. So again, just take a bit of tissue, roll it up, and then you just want to, so it's kind of hard to get it in the camera shot, but just run it up the inside of the hub like so. Just pull it all the way through. You can see on the tip there's a little bit of dirt come off, but they're not too bad. Imagine if you've not built your front end in a long time, then it'll probably be quite a bit worse. Again, this is the same as the dampers really. You kind of want to do it whenever you're doing some maintenance on the car. So ideally every week, and I don't know about you guys, but I struggle to get time to rebuild the car every week. So I just do it as often as I can. And you want to take some, usually anywhere between sort of 10 and 15,000 weight oil. I'm using 12 for this just because it's what I had out for my side dampers. And you just want to put a small blob onto the kingpin. Again, it's this bottle that's really difficult to get oil out. So you just want to put a little blob on and just roll it around the kingpin itself. I mean, when you put the hub on, it's going to spread it out anyway, but there's no harm in giving it a bit of a helping hand, really. All this does is just provide a bit of front damping for the front end. Takes a bit of edginess away from the car, makes it a little bit easier to drive. which I find is really helpful on like high bike tracks. So you can use, I'm just going to use a 1.5mm driver here, just to roll it around the kingpin. Get an even spread of the oil. Like so. Just wipe that off. And then you just take your hubs, press them onto the kingpin, give them a spread about. If you've got excess oil coming out on the shims at the bottom, then you can just again take a piece of kitchen roll or J-cloth, whatever you're using, just to give that a bit of a clean. So that's pretty much it for the front dampers really. Like I say, it's just a case of adding the oil. Now, one thing to remember with the new front end, especially with this LP strap, so I'm not sure if you can see it on the camera, but there's a recess here in the carbon, and the spring sits inside of there. So the front end is even lower than it was originally. Just keeps the weight down, it's better for centre of gravity. And you can also set your camber over this strap. Again, I'm not sure how well you can see, but the slot for the screws is slightly angled, so you can push the hubs in to, I think the range is from about 0 to about 2 degrees of camber, just for fine tuning. Again, we'll go through that on the setup video and what effects that has on the car. So you just want to check, if your front springs are old, it might be worth replacing them, but just check they've not collapsed, they're still working as they should. Put them back on top of the kingpins like so. And then you want to take your new front end. Generally, I mean, this is going to be tricky because I've got the car the wrong way around for the camera. But generally I find the easiest way is to take the 2 centre screws like this and place the shims on before you put it onto the front end of the car. Like so. And then, this is quite tricky to do because it's really easy to just drop the shims, especially with a camera there. No doubt it's going to go wrong when I try and do this now. But then you just want to lift it onto the 2 uprights, put it in position like that, and take your 2mm driver, which has disappeared. It's here. Don't tighten these up all the way yet. Just get the thread started like that, just so the screw's not going to fall out, the washer's not going to fall out, and you can put the 2 kingpin screws in. So again, take your 2 kingpin screws, drop them into position in the slotted holes. At this point it's useful to take a camber gauge, put your tyres on, set your camber and then tighten these up. Mine's already set using the front screw, so I'm not going to bother doing that now. However, I will check it later on. So now all 4 screws are in, but they're not tight. Just check that the hubs can move freely on the kingpins, which they can, that's all fine. Sometimes you'll find they're quite tight or scrapey, so if that's the case, what you want to do is just check there's no burrs on the hubs or the kingpin, or any dirt in there that's making sort of it rough to move, sliding up and down the kingpin. You can just use something like a steel ruler or a blade just to get rid of any burrs that you might come across. So then it's just a case of nipping up the front end nice and tight, you don't want it falling apart. All 4 screws. Sometimes the kingpin might spin on the bottom arm here. If that's the case, you just need to put another 2mm driver on the bottom screw and tighten with that one at the same time, and that'll stop it coming loose. So nice and tight. Sorry, car keeps moving. So when that's all tight, just check your suspension movement's free, it's not sticking if there's too much oil, anything like that. So as you can see here, if I raise the hub and let it go, it drops as it should. Same on that side. And that's it, you're good to go.